This is the truth about Cosmos Atom.
We're about to reveal some crazy facts about Cosmos that you haven't heard of.
Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is your place for all things stocks and crypto. From beginner tips to expert picks. Use this as fuel for your investing journey, because when you're in the know, your money will grow.
This episode of the Bean Pod is sponsored by KyberSwap.
KyberSwap is a DEX and DEX aggregator, which is built to facilitate all your DeFi needs in one single platform.
Fast, cheap, and safe.
User experience is KyberSwap's sole focus to make everyone's life better in DeFi. Welcome to the Bean Pod. This is Shane, aka the Jolly Green Investor.
And this is Josh, the Nifty Investor.
Today, we're going to be revealing the truth about Cosmos Atom.
This thing has been on a tear as of late. And I want to give a shout out to Virgil Chasin in our YouTube comments for suggesting this one, because we're always looking at new projects. What can we dive into? What tokens are people holding? And let's do a deep dive into Cosmos. This one's looking like an excellent project.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been one of the trendier names over the past, say, 2 months. It's probably outperformed most altcoins. So there's a lot going on under the hood here, which is it's perfect timing to do this episode. They've got some really interesting technology, a pretty interesting team, some cool partnerships. So this is definitely an episode you want to watch to the end.
So this is looking like, what would you call this? A mid cap or so with a $5 billion market cap?
Yeah, it's an upper mid cap.
Upper mid cap.
Sure. You know, what's it, like 20 something ranks?
Yeah, say number 18, number 20.
It's getting up there.
Yeah, so it's moving up the ranks. And it may be a project that you haven't really looked into, but this is being described as the internet of blockchains. So Cosmos, interesting name, right?
I love it.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
Because when you dive into this, it almost reminds you of the actual Cosmos and how everything comes from this one hub and it all has the same matter. So like we're all made of carbon, you know, as stars explode and all this stuff, not to get too...
Yeah, you're crazy on me.
I used to study that stuff. I'm fascinated by
it. I love it.
So knowing what we now know about Cosmos, would you have known that the Binance Smart Chain was born out of this ecosystem?
Crazy.
Or Crypto.com was born out of this ecosystem?
Interesting stuff.
And there's a reason why. And if we go a little bit deeper, you'll understand why they're utilizing Cosmos.
Yeah. So, we always talk about riding the waves of crypto trends on this show. And Cosmos is definitely one of the top interoperability plays, right? We talk about quant being interoperability. And a lot of these parallels kind of remind me of quant being like the internet of blockchains, interoperability, connecting different blockchains. I think Vitalik Buterin is always talking about multi-chain interoperability. So when you look at projects that are not focusing on just having a layer one blockchain that everything runs through, but instead having an infinite amount of blockchains all based around this hub, that's kind of what Cosmos is building.
They have two main goals. And this is what I like. And I think this is important for adoption. I think this is important for ecosystem growth. They're creating a cross-chain network that connects blockchains within its ecosystem. And they've created a plug-and-play toolkit that makes it really easy for developers to deploy blockchains of their own. So they use something called, Tendermint. And so what Tendermint is, it's a very fast and secure software that allows these developers to deploy on this blockchain quickly. So they can actually be working on their project versus trying to learn coding and bring in new individuals. They already have a system in place that you can seamlessly just start creating.
Yeah, so that's going to drive adoption, right?
Yeah.
Because it's breaking down the barriers for developers to come from Ethereum or Solana to something like Cosmos, because they don't have to spend a year learning this crazy new code. And it kind of reminded me of Polkadot in a way. Polkadot has the parachains, whereas Cosmos has the same ability where developers can come and build purpose-built blockchains specific for certain uses. So, you don't have to have on Solana, for example, they have a layer one and everything is running, competing for throughput or speed on the main network. And, we've seen what happens with that. It's going down every day. But with Cosmos, when it is eventually really built out, you'll have developers building blockchains in the Cosmos atmosphere or ecosystem that are for different uses. So one can be NFTs, one can be for money transfers, one can be for play to earn gaming. You have one of my favorites, mid small cap picks, Secret, which is a layer one built in the Cosmos ecosystem specifically for privacy and security. So by spreading these things out in the Cosmos ecosystem, you're allowing it to maintain scalability, interoperability, and make use of their interesting technology.
And the best part is, and this is what they really pride themselves on, is sovereignty. So with sovereignty, that you actually have, so you're building dApps, but you're building your own blockchain. So you're not just running on Cosmos. You can actually create your own blockchain and have control over it, but it's interoperable with all the others within the Cosmos ecosystem.
Yeah, and the important thing to understand about that, I think it sounds like we might be getting a little technical, but imagine if you want to build your own blockchain. You don't have to play by the rules of the blockchain you're building it on. So, in terms of scalability or transfer, all this kind of stuff, you can build your own blockchain with different code and rules within their ecosystem. So you can make your own thing up. And I think, when you're talking about using blockchain to come up with creative solutions for different worldwide problems, that's where you're going to really see the creative aspect of Cosmos, people creating their own rules. I think you're going to see it thrive in those conditions.
I found a really good example of how to explain this. Basically, imagine the internet. So you're sovereign. You as an individual are sovereign over your own personal computer. You can use it however you want, but it's able to communicate across the web with others on the internet protocol. So it's really easy. You can do whatever you want. So when you have Binance created their own blockchain through Cosmos, they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So they're not tied to the rules of whatever these guys, whatever Cosmos wants them to do, for example.
For sure. So, look, at first glance, when you talk about all these amazing abilities of their technology and their platform, already it looks like a gem, right? They've got something good going on. Now you look at their ecosystem, they've already got nearly 300 different dApps and services built in the Cosmos ecosystem. Everything from GameFi to NFTs to privacy, like Secret I was just talking about, security, money transfer. They're building other blockchains like the ones you mentioned. So they do have a growing ecosystem, which is, why they're, near the top 20 of crypto projects. This isn't a small cap. But one of the things that the classic knock on Cosmos is the tokenomics, right?
Right.
And we always make a point of talking about tokenomics when we're doing these truth abouts. So what do we find in the tokenomics that maybe makes us a little bit hesitant?
Well, it's pretty inflationary, right? And typically this is used to reward validators to secure the network. And a lot of, layer one blockchains will have this where they're rewarding these individuals these validators in the nodes. But actually, I think Atom just recently released a 2.0 update that will be coming out where they're going to make the token. They're actually going to, because right now there isn't a max supply. So they can just keep making tokens for the rest of eternity.
It's 14% per year inflation right now.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
So that's really difficult to get an increase in price, which is what a lot of people are looking for when they're investing in these projects. And typically it's just used to reward the validators, right? But what they're going to do is they're actually going to have a max supply in, which means that now there's only going to be X amount ever created. And they're going to bring down that inflationary aspect of the Atom token.
Yeah, so Cosmos 2.0 is probably the main reason why it has been pumping, because it's been obviously in the cards for a while, kind of like the merge. But now as it's getting closer to that Cosmos 2.0 date, it's been pumping. I wonder if the day that happens, it'll dump.
Like the Ethereum merge?
By the rumor, sell the news, right? But, if you're a long-term holder in Cosmos and a believer in the ecosystem, having this switch from hyperinflationary and no token cap to not non-hyperinflationary and capped supply, this is huge. Because you can imagine, as it is right now, the Atom token, before Cosmos 2.0, the only way that you're not losing money by holding Atom is if you're staking the tokens. And if you're staking a lot of tokens, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to secure the network. They don't want you to buy 5K of Atom and just hold it in your Binance, right? They want you to stake it to secure the network. But most people aren't doing that. So by buying that $5,000 of Atom and not staking it, you're losing money every single day because of the hyperinflationary nature of the token. And most people, they don't have enough Atom and they're probably not staking, blah, 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 blah. So it just doesn't make sense at this point to really be a long-term hold, but then come along Cosmos 2.0, which changes everything.
Yeah. And they're also adding, I believe, a security function to this as well. So interchain security feature, which is going to make Cosmos Hub responsible for the network-wide security. So now projects that are out there, not only do they have the Cosmos SDK, which is the toolkit, which makes it super simple for developers to build on this network, but now they also have the interchain security feature, which is a massive, because I don't think these guys have ever seen a hack yet. I think that was one of the biggest pros to this.
Yep.
So now you have all these blockchains that are being built. They can now rely on this security feature as well. And that's also going to be part of the 2.0 upgrade.
The interchain security. Yeah. And it's a theme that we talk about on this show all the time. The coins that we think that are going to win moving forward have the same characteristics. We're always looking at the ones that are more sustainable, the ones that have better privacy, security, and Cosmos is now moving into that section with their interchain security. And we talked about breaking down the barriers, the walls to adoption with Cosmos with their easy-to-use developer SDK. Well, another wall that they're breaking down with this interchain security is by adding this additional layer of privacy and security to their ecosystem. So you can have different projects coming in that, for example, if you're dealing with vulnerable data, a healthcare blockchain app, or a finance or a mortgage or whatever it is, a blockchain app that has vulnerable consumer data that cannot be hacked. If you need hack mitigation, you need these, you can't be putting your information on these blockchains that can be hacked when it comes to consumer data. So now with this interchain security, I think you're going to see an inflow of blockchain developers building these highly secure dApps. So I think Cosmos is really going to benefit from that.
And not only from the security perspective, so there's that trust of the users who are utilizing these blockchains that are being built, but the interchain security could lead to a reduced supply of Atom because the people who are staking are now going to be receiving multiple staking rewards because of the security function. What happens is as more chains enable this interchain security, there's more rewards to the stakers. The more Atom staked, the less Atom on the market. So when you have less Atom on the market, you also put in this max supply that they're going to be introducing as well, and it's not going to be as inflationary. This starts to be more of a win for the Atom token.
Supply and demand, right?
That's right.
Less tokens, less supply, more adoption, higher ecosystem growth, more demand. So I think Cosmos 2.0, maybe in the short term, is a buy the rumors, sell the news pump. Cosmos has been outperforming the market significantly over the past maybe 6 weeks. But for a long-term outlook on Cosmos, this could not be better. So I think, remember during the bull run, there was always like a season. There was a Solana season, and then there was Near Protocol season. There's Polkadot season, right, where the ecosystem just pumps, and you just want to buy up every project in the ecosystem. There was a bit of a Cosmos season right towards the end of the bull market. I remember we were talking about it in the Discord for a while. I did really well on Cosmos. It was right as things were kind of crumbling down. That's when I learned about Secret. There was a couple, I think it was like Akash, Persistence, a couple of other Cosmos ecosystem tokens. But I think what you're going to see is not when the bull market returns, because that might be a while away, but during these bear market rallies, follow the trends in crypto. And I think Cosmos ecosystem could reemerge as a trend during these bear market rallies. So look at some of these names like a Secret or an Akash or a Persistence to potentially, couple in. If you're going to play Atom and you're going to think Atom is a good trade for your portfolio, look into the ecosystem as well, because there's some really interesting projects.
Yeah, we might have to do a deep dive on, I think that'd be a fun series to do, because people know Binance, right? And then all the projects that are within the BNB tokens that are within the Binance Smart Chain. It'd be fun to maybe do a deep dive on some of the small cap gems of Cosmos, some of the small cap gems of Chronos, of, you know what I mean? Just kind of find within the ecosystem plays that we like.
We do love our small cap gems. I mean, look, if you're listening to this episode and you want to see us do a deep dive on the small cap gems of a certain coin's ecosystem, comment below. And, we're always looking at the comments. So if we see, one ecosystem, for example, that's being called out by a ton of you guys, we will do an episode all about the small cap gems from their ecosystem. We love doing what you guys want to see. So, guys or girls, whatever you want to see, we're going to do it.
So I think another thing we should discuss is the inter-blockchain communications protocol that they have as well, the IBC. This is the glue that holds the Cosmos ecosystem together. And this is the interoperability standard that is, again, seamlessly and easily applied to any of the proof of stake blockchains within the ecosystem. So this is like the quant, if you will, of this. That's what this technology is. And it makes it super simple for all these projects to be communicating with one another.
Yeah, it's another great feature of this ecosystem. It's not just a layer 1 blockchain. It's a layer 1 blockchain that is connecting blockchains within the ecosystem. So I think there's really an infinite use case for Cosmos. We always kind of try to find these layer 1 blockchains that are really like pre-consumer adoption. If you look at Ethereum, obviously people are using it. Solana, people are using it. A couple other ones, but that's why we like things like Cosmos or Algorand or Near Protocol. These are the ones that, if you ask your mate from down the street, he might know about Solana or Ethereum. He's probably never heard of Cosmos, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knows about Ethereum. A lot of people in, Solana.
Cardano.
They know about these ones, but the key is finding out about the ones before people know about them. Because when people are asking you about them, that's when you know to sell. Right?
Yeah. So there's some other like really interesting, like the Atom token itself, like what is the use case for that, right? So I guess the Atom token, people watching or listening may wonder like, well, why would I hold Atom? Well, the more the ecosystem grows and the widespread adoption that occurs, let's say all of a sudden there's a new chain being built on Cosmos, and then there's 5 other ones that are being built. They're going to be using the Atom token for a number of reasons, whether it's collateral, liquidity, trades, exchanges. They're using that token to interoperate with all these other blockchains. That's going to ultimately drive the Atom token price up.
Yeah.
Right?
So you have the one token being the backbone of the entire ecosystem.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if, you build the Nifty Investor blockchain on the Cosmos, whatever, it's still the transactions are going to be settled using the Atom token.
Exactly.
So as the number of blockchains in the Atom ecosystem grows, now with a capped supply and decreasing the inflationary aspect of the Atom token, well, you've got kind of a perfect recipe here for price increase. I'm not making any guarantees the price is going to go up, but if you look at how things are playing out with the Cosmos Atom ecosystem over the long term, it looks like a gem.
I was listening to their founder speak the other day, and what I really liked about it was how he explained how the Atom token is used because it's super secure and it's conservative. It's like the stable anchor that the other chains can use so that they can be innovative. The other blockchains can be really aggressive and innovative, pushing forward, whereas they have this slow moving Atom token that they, it's always secure. Everything's fine. And they can utilize that. Like I found that really unique. And the fact that he's trying to, I don't know, just like, this is a really unique project.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that they had the 2.0 rolling out, because that was my biggest hesitancy towards actually investing in Cosmos, in Atom.
The current tokenomics.
I'm like, with inflation like that, that's dead money, man.
Well, going back to what you were just saying about the founder and how he described the ecosystem, it's that they can create different rules for their blockchains.
That's it, yeah.
They don't have to be constrained by the, maybe more restrictive rules and codes and laws of Cosmos, the original blockchain. They can do some crazy things. They can try new things that may or may not work, but they're always going to have that Atom token at the foundation of that blockchain. So again, it allows for creativity, and creativity in solving long-term worldwide problems, I think is the easiest description of what blockchain can do.
Exactly.
It's like, if you're going to explain what can blockchain do for the world, why is it so important? It's because it can solve an almost infinite amount of problems using new technology. And you can't do that if you're restricting people to a certain set of rules.
Yeah.
So by allowing people to come in and experiment, just like anything, new tech companies, startups, whatever it is, you have to allow experimentation. Things are going to fail. Most things are going to fail. But at the end of the day, you have this Atom token behind things. It's going to allow for a growing ecosystem. And that's why Atom is definitely, for me, it's on my watch list. It's on my buy list. I think it's a project that I will be DCAing into during the bear market.
Yeah, that's what he said. Sorry, I was looking for that. I was trying to think of what he was trying to say, but I don't want to butcher it. He's just saying helping small businesses push back against the large monopoly of forces that are crushing small communities. So these small communities can now be sovereign over their own credit. They can issue it and it can be accepted. They can just spawn their own way they want to do it. Exactly the way you eloquently so put it.
Yep, I think so. So, I mean, in conclusion, what's the truth about Cosmos? I like it.
Yeah, it is a go. I think the sovereignty, I think, having Atom as the backbone, having that hub there, the SDK to make it seamless. You don't need a ton of coding experience. You can be somebody out there who can just start creating, and they give you all the tools there to do it on your own, right? And then you have the security as well. So,
but beware of the buy the rumors, sell the news possibility for Cosmos 2.0.
Yeah, for whenever that does occur. Do we have a specific date on that?
I didn't see a specific date, but that's why it's been pumping lately, because it's the buy the rumor phase. We're in the buy the rumor phase now. So whenever they make the announcement, the switch is made, maybe take some profits.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's our take on Cosmos. Hope you guys liked the episode. Make sure you smash the like button. Let us know what other projects you want us to deep dive into, and then tune into the next episode.
Ooh, that one's gonna be a banger.
All views expressed by speakers on the BeanPod are solely their opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed on the BeanPod as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a specific strategy, but only as an expression of their opinion. This podcast is for informational purposes only.